just testing our mics and they're not working. 1 second.
1 second, guys. Not that you can hear me anyways, but if you can.
No, they can. Sorry. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blue Jays Today, where I'm knocking down the entire set. Hello. We have big news that we got to talk about.
Yeah, guys, today we're going to be breaking down and reacting to what we all came here to see, what we woke up to, basically, the Jose Berrios news. Before we get into that, though, guys, please hit this thing with a like, smash the subscribe, and comment down below or in the chat what you thought about this deal. All right, Adam, let me paint you the sweet, sweet reality.
Paint it to me. Paint it to me.
The sweet, sweet reality of the truth, man.
Tell me what's the truth.
Jose Berrios, 27 years old, pitcher, Toronto Blue Jays. 7-year deal.
Yes.
For $131 million.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call right now. Hello?
Okay.
I was hoping it would be a Patron, but it wasn't.
It's not, yeah.
It wasn't. All right, but yes, amazing deal, guys. Absolutely phenomenal. The contract looks like $11 million he's going to get for 2022, and then he's going to get $20 million for the next 6 years. So 7 more years of at least of Jose Berrios with some opt-out clause after the 5th season. And I mean, this is exactly what we needed. We were talking about, okay, well, you know, if we get Jose Berrios back, like that's for sure, like that's locked down. Now we can kind of go out and play, right? That's the whole idea.
Well,
and I'm loving it.
I was going to ask, with that contract, 7 years, $131 million, some analysts, they may even refer to that terminology as the bag.
A cheap bag. Very cheap bag.
What do you think about this? Is this a good deal?
Yes. Like, it's literally a steal. And I saw y'all commenting earlier, it is a steal. I mean, I even looked at DraftNet. Mark, he thinks it's a steal. Because this guy is a top-of-the-end rotation pitcher. He's going to be, he doesn't even have to be our ace. He's going into this 2022 year being our ace. But for the future down the line, this guy could be a great number 2, a great number 3. And this is so perfect for a window. Because now we have him. We obviously have Manoah. And like 2 more years of Ryu. And this is going to spark a lot more conversations. Are we going to add another guy through free agency as well this offseason?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I'm just excited.
We got to sink into this. You know, we're taking it step by step. You're saying it's a good deal.
Yes.
I would like to respond to that and say that, yes, I absolutely agree. It's a great deal. Jose Berrios is a dude, and there was that roadblock for the Toronto Blue Jays of not being so sure, of having him and knowing that he could be a stud with some major upside at 27 years old, and now knowing that if everything goes proper with this team, everything as it should, that at the very least, he could win a World Series with this squad, and he should be, you know, potentially a playoff pitcher for us moving forward. A lot of questions when we made the initial trade 6 months ago. Maybe it wasn't a good idea. Does this extension make it the right thing to do to give away Austin Martin and Simeon Woods?
Yes. Yes, of course, everybody. This is a great deal for this guy. Like, literally, if we didn't sign him back, it would have been a bad deal. Oh, he goes off. Oh, he pitches 2 years for us. He's gone. That would be a bad deal. I mean, in retrospect, if Austin Martin becomes absolutely elite and Simeon Woods becomes absolutely elite, and then Berrios kind of blows, and it's not good. But for right now, we know the facts that Jose Berrios is absolutely phenomenal. A mid-3 ERAs, guys. And that's not even his like highest potential. No. There's so much still potential for a guy at his age, and I'm super, super excited. You know, in your perspective, what are you most, like, how well do you think this guy's going to do, man?
I think that there's a lot of ranges of outcomes here, folks. In the last 3 years, Jose Berrios, a 3.66 ERA, and that's kind of slowly continued to get better and to get better as he ages. His career is 4.04, but that is highly brought up from his first rookie year, which was years and years and years ago. He's 27 now. The ceiling of this is that Jose Berrios is a Hall of Fame pitcher, and his number gets retired as a Toronto Blue Jay for years to come, and we all love him, and we think back to this beautiful day when we made a podcast on that trade, we made a podcast on this extension, and we think back at how smart that was. The floor, there's a bunch of injuries, and it sucks. I don't think that's going to happen because this guy has been an innings eater his entire career. I think that we could see some extremely good years of Jose Berrios, potentially touching below 3 with 200 innings.
Totally, man. I think he's great, man. I think he's absolutely great. And guys, just to put it in perspective, Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro. Can we just praise these goddamn gods right now? These guys are absolutely lords, okay? We have made the highest deals in franchise history. I think I believe it was 4 out of the 5 highest deals in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
I believe it's 3 out of 4 actually, to be completely correct, in the last 2 years. You got Rio, you got George, and now you got Berrios. These guys are actually getting it done, and they've built this team so perfectly because even after we sign Berrios, we still have $60 million left
There's a lot
to
of
go
money.
play around with,
There's
bro.
a lot of money. I got to ask you, because these guys are so intelligent. Now, I think this was, and I do believe this was the case, and I think the baseball is speculating that it was the case, and I think even we speculated that this was going to be the case. But this had to have been in the game plan when we made that trade immediately.
1,000%.
You know, do you
1,000%.
think that they knew that the second that the season was over, they were going to try and do this?
Obviously, they had to, right? I mean, free agency just started. You don't start negotiations the week of the, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're always going out through the season. You're talking to his agent. You're like, hey, we want to get this done. Of course. We literally, why would we send off the bag and not even try? I think it was definitely way before the season.
Yeah, they had,
and it's
they
smart.
had
Big brain.
predetermined this. This
Yes.
was the strategy moving into the offseason was first things first, before we do anything, we need to go out and secure this guy, and we don't even want to let him flirt with next year's trade deadline. We don't even want to let him flirt with the idea of free agency. I saw a great question in the chat. Why do you think Jose Berrios didn't elect to wait another year and go for free agency?
And honestly,
I wonder you.
that's a great question, because if I'm Jose Berrios and I have no loyalty to the Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, I'd be like, I'm all over free agency. You know what I mean? But the reason why, it's got to be the conversations that they've had with Ross Atkins, the gods, and Mark Shapiro. My goodness. They must have convinced this man, just like they convinced George Springer, just like you've convinced Hyun-Jin Ryu, that this team's good. And you know what? You don't even have to do that much talking. You literally look at the team. You look at the team, you look at how much money that they have left over. Look, we can build an absolute dynasty here. And hey, he's wanted to win it. He's literally said when he came over here, I want to win. I mean, so do most people when they get traded. No,
of course.
I want to lose. But he wants to win. He didn't win with the Minnesota Twins, and he was supposed to. And this window is so juicy. This window, when you sign someone like Jose Berrios for 7 years, you're looking at a potential 7-year window if you set up your guys right. That is why I ran down the street this morning. Because that's, okay, we're clearly planning for a nice 7-year window here. I'm loving it.
I agree with everything you just said, man. And I think that there's a few reasons why Jose Berrios didn't want to elect to wait a year and deal with free agency. Number one, he sees the window. He sees the team. He likes the young guys. He knows that if he signs right here, right now, he's going to be the ace on this squad for years to come. And every analyst in baseball is talking, this team deserves to win a World Series in the next 5 to 7 years.
That's right.
I think number two, and this is really important, is the way that the management approached this. I have been going on a few dates with this one female right now. And ooh. And the most important thing that we were talking about the other day is showing that other person that you're serious.
Yeah.
And what better way to show somebody that you're serious about them than not even waiting to talk to other free agent starting pitchers, but in literally the first few weeks when they still have another year left, when you could wait, you say, screw that bullshit. We want to get this done right now because we're serious about you.
Absolutely. And I'm glad they are, because I was serious about him. I mean, even before we got him, I know a lot of people were kind of speculating. Some people were on the Jose Berrios train. We were definitely one of those guys. But some people weren't. They were really speculating why. I'm honestly not sure why. This guy is absolute stud. And here's the reason why when people ask, should we sign back Robbie Ray? Right? It's a track record. That's the thing. The track record doesn't warrant 7 years. Berrios' track record, yeah, that warrants 7 years.
Yeah.
That warrants absolute, and the age. Oh my God.
And the age.
And that's why
absolutely.
that's why it's literally perfect. And I do want to transition a little bit over to those other guys because that's something that we've been seeing a lot of. Now that we have Jose Berrios, okay, what about Ray? Now we got, I heard this one comment. I'm going to literally quote it. Don't know by who, but if it's you, shout out. Literally, okay, now time to get Semien and Ray. What are your thoughts on that comment?
Yeah, that's a great question, man, because obviously this is going to eat into the payroll. The magic number that we've been dealing with is somewhere in the 50 to 60 to maybe even 70, but I think that's pushing
that'd
it
be
quite a lot.
That'd be right around the luxury tax.
That would be right around
there.
luxury tax. I think that we're sitting anywhere from 50 to 60 million dollars that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to play with this offseason. This will obviously eat into that, but we still have a lot to play with. Now, the management has still been in talks with Ray, with Semien, with Matz. But they've also come out and said that an infielder, although we're prioritizing it, if we have to let one go, we will. We're looking at the bullpen. We're looking at the starting pitchers. I still do not see a reality where we're going to be getting Marcus Semien back on this squad, as much as I pain to say that. And I also think, too, that by doing this, we have made our choice who we want our pitcher to be going forward. However, there were some rumors today talking about Kevin Gausman and the Toronto Blue Jays maybe looking at a deal, and we know that he would command somewhere in the 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 year deal, which would be quite a lot. I don't know if that's the avenue that I would take with this team.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do it, I mean, I'm certainly not going to I'm not going to be opposed.
Well, here's the reason why. I mean, like, we've said it so many times, okay? Like, the reason why we don't want to add another guy on the window is because, quite frankly, like, I kind of want to pack in. We have a little mini window, and it's 2022, 2023. And here's why. Because in 2022 and 2023, we're going to have Ryu on the books, we're going to have Grichuk on the books, and we're going to have Gurriel on the books, not counting his third arbitration year. That's a guys that are going to be, those guys are on the books. So I kind of want to pack in as much as possible in this 1 to 2 year window, because 2024, there goes Ryu, there goes Grichuk, and Gurriel, we probably might sign him back. But that's a lot of cap. That's $30 million. That's freed up.
Quite a lot of cap, bro. And also, too, folks, when we're looking at guys like Robbie Ray, like Kevin Gausman, dudes who are going to get a longer deal, you want to anchor your staff with them. That's what we've just done by saying, hey, Jose Berrios, we are serious about you. We're ready to give you the bag for 7 years, $131 million. That's what we're saying to him right now. We don't need to muddle our words and get a bunch of different guys in there kind of playing the same role, the daddy pitcher role. Ryu's the granddaddy right now.
Yes, he's the granddaddy.
Yes,
he is the granddaddy.
Jose
now,
Berrios
is taking the adult. He's the man right now.
He is the breadwinner right now, and that's what we're saying. I don't think that works for our team. If you're the Angels, if you are maybe the Yankees, well, actually, if you're the Yankees, that's Garrett Cole for you, but they have so much
Yankees
money
don't
they
even care.
Doesn't matter for them. But for us, I don't think that's the way to go. I think moving forward, I am very happy with this deal. Also, average annual value. We haven't really touched on that, but it's beautiful. I just want to put that out there. Very happy money-wise. I think the best way to go about this is now that we have this dude for forever, let's get some guys in that short window period, that 2 to 3 year deal. Lock them down on high AAV and go for it right now. Yeah,
it's either you do that or another option where if you can get someone like 4 to 5 years on like a low AAV, like a 10 to 15. If you can find someone out there, there's Desclafani is being tossed around there, but he's going to get paid. I mean, we're kind of, actually, I want to speak on that. I do want to speak on that because that was being tossed around in my head today.
Yeah.
Now that we've seen the pitching market, we have seen the pitching market this year. We've seen Erod, we've seen Berrios, we've seen Thor, and we're going to talk about, we have a lot of podcasts coming out soon, guys, about those guys coming and about starting pitchers in general. But now that we've seen the market, if someone like Erod is going to command the average annual value, like $77 million, 5 years, that's a pretty good average annual value for someone like Erod, and $21 million for a guy like Syndergaard who's only pitched 2 innings in 2 years. So, It might be a pretty expensive offseason.
Pitchers are coming at a premium, folks. We've seen it time and time again. If you want to make it to the World Series, batters aren't necessarily going to cut it. You need to have those pitchers, and people know that. And that's why we went out and we got Jose Berrios. Speaking of money, I know, I'm happy about it. You're happy about it. The average annual value, we got to say, that's pretty bloody amazing, right?
For Berrios.
Oh,
yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
To get him at less than $20 million per year.
It's a steal.
I cannot be happier with that, and that is definitely a props to the management.
Yeah,
so
it's steal. I was already kind of sliding in, okay, he will get paid $20 million a year, which granted after this he will, but the average annual value is less than that. So beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I agree. Steven asks, what about Alex Wood? And I would agree that moving forward, the Toronto Blue Jays should be looking at guys like Alex Wood. We could hear some names tossed around like John Gray. A guy we're going to be talking about quite a fair bit is Justin Verlander, because these are high upside dart throws that will cost a lot right now, but isn't going to hurt you too much long term. So I like that a lot. We're also looking at guys right now like a Pablo Lopez trade potentially, which would make a ton of sense, because then you bring in another elite young pitcher that's going to be super bloody cheap. So I think that this Berrios trade, or excuse me, not trade, signing extension right now, I think what I love the most about this is it creates the future. It makes it so much clearer. We know now, as a Blue Jays fan, that this next 7 years, that's going to be the window. And if we don't win one in those next 7 years, we're probably shit out of luck. But we have to plan around this Berrios deal, I think.
Yep, this is the best time, man. This is literally the best time. You know what's great? And we have the trade rumors. You're going to hear about it in our podcast coming out tomorrow. But that trade rumor of Pablo Lopez, that would just make the window even better. Because, you're thinking okay, we got to go sign Scherzer. Maybe even if we did sign someone like Ray and Gosman, which is totally doable. They might do it. We're just giving our opinion. They might go out and do it because they can. They literally can. But if they do it, then it's now I'm kind of limited. Now it's maybe I might have to let Tio walk. You know what I mean? I might have to let Gurriel walk eventually, because you still got to consider Bo and Vlad, right? So even if they do that, that's totally fine and dandy. We have the money. If you get someone like Pablo Lopez, you're going to have even more money. So now, just come on, Teoscar Hernandez. I don't mind signing you back to $100 million again. Yeah. Wow, we're going to have to be paying some dudes very, very soon, guys.
Absolutely.
In 2 years.
And that's why this is such a great extension, because we didn't have to pay so much. Let's take one more question from Ryan here asking, do you think that Nate is going to take a next big step and become a starter? I hope so, buddy. I definitely hope so. But now, the pressure's still kind of on him, but it's not as deep, because at least in my heart, I know that we have a young starting pitcher to anchor our squad for years to come. And that's something that we haven't been able to say for many years.
Manoah is so huge. His come up last year was absolutely needed. We needed that to be Nate Pearson. Hey, it's Manoah. And you know what? That might even help Nate Pearson's development even more, because Nate Pearson, he doesn't have to be the guy. We have Berrios, we have Manoah, and Rio's not the guy anymore. But, you at least, you'll be the fourth or fifth coming in, rather than being expected right out of the gate to be the number one, number two.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So, folks, comment it down below what you think about this deal. I have one more final question. Do you have any more final thoughts?
Well, just go Jays. Literally, I am loving every single thing that Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro are doing. They are literally doing everything I've wanted. When we're out here strategizing, fantasizing, they're doing it. And
I really liked what you had to say earlier today in our little group chat. You said Mark Shapiro, Ross Atkins playing an exceptional game of MLB The Show franchise.
Yes, they are, man. They're making all the moves, and obviously you can cheat a little bit in that game and sell some crap guys for an elite guy, but that's not realistic. So based on real life standards, they're doing excellent.
All right, final question. Time to do a Jose Berrios jersey giveaway?
Yes.
I believe that in the coming days that is going to happen. Folks.
Guys, we're absolutely going to be doing it. We're going to be partnering up. A little spoiler here. We're not supposed to be doing it, but a little spoiler. We're going to be partnering up with FanDuel, and we're going to be doing a giveaway along with it. So if you want to be entered into FanDuel, we'll let those details out a little bit later. So stay tuned for that, guys.